Hello out there, all you keen historians, and welcome to your second lesson of the Introduction to the Industrial Revolution. Lesson 2, Overview of the Industrial Revolution. So last lesson, we looked at the introduction to the Industrial Revolution, and now we're looking at a quick overview of it before we dive down into all these deeper topics that make up what we know as the Industrial Revolution. So your learning intention and success criteria. So by the end of this lesson, you need to know the Industrial Revolution, and you need to be able to find information on key events and inventions created during the Industrial Revolution. So two parts to this lesson. So we're looking at key events and key inventions as well created during the Industrial Revolution. So a quick little summary. So the Industrial Revolution lasted from 1750 to 1914. It was a time of rapid and unprecedented urbanization and industrialization. The factory system took over the cottage system. So that essentially means that people used to only use things and eat things they made on their own farms. But with the invention of new farming practices and new farming technologies, people could move away from the farms and into the cities where they had to work in factories. New inventions and farming practices allowed the population of Britain to grow, which sustained the Industrial Revolution. And then the working class was subjected to extremely harsh working conditions. So they used to work very long hours for very little pay in extremely unsafe and unsanitary work conditions as well. We're talking things like heat and noise in the factories. We're talking collapsing mines, that sort of thing. So there's two tasks for this lesson, guys. Task 1 is comprehension on the Industrial Revolution as an overview. And the second task is answering questions on inventions created during the Industrial Revolution. So I'm going to run through with those with you now. So we're going to open this link here and have a look at this infographic made by History Crunch. They do a really good coverage of the Industrial Revolution, and we'll start answering these questions together now. So what were the 4 things that caused the Industrial Revolution? So if we look at causes here, we've got growth of capitalism, agricultural revolution, which we talked about last lesson, coal mining, and then European imperialism as well. So those are our 4 causes. Number 2, what does the term cottage industry mean? So let's have a look at that now. We do have it here. Here it is. Cottage industry. It means the production was done on a small scale in people's homes, slow and inefficient, but goods were unique and handcrafted. So that was before the Industrial Revolution. And then we moved to the factory system, which was during the Industrial Revolution. And that is our third question. What does the term factory system mean? Well, it means the production was done on a large scale in centralized factories, fast, and led to mass goods produced. Number 5, what is the textile industry? So the textile industry is essentially making clothes. So anything that involved the creation of cloth and clothing in large factories, and new inventions in the textile industry sped up production. And we talked a bit about those in the timeline from last lesson too. Moving to our 6th question here. What is a power loom and who invented it? So we need to find that here. This one can be a little bit trickier. Here we go. We've got Edmund Cartwright built the first power loom in 1785, which mechanized the weaving process of the textile industry. So Edmund Cartwright invented the power loom, which turned it away from like a human like powered device to a machine-powered device or a water-powered device, because it was powered by moving water. Name the 4 harsh working conditions the working class had to face during the Industrial Revolution. We've got those here. So we've got dangerous work conditions, long hours of work, poor living conditions, and low-paying jobs. So that's our answer for number 7. Number 8, why did children work during the Industrial Revolution? Let's have a look here. Boys and girls as young as 5 years old worked in factories and mines. Pay for the working class was so low that most families needed their children to work and contribute to the cost of daily life. And here's our average pay for men, women and children per week. So 10 shillings for men, 5 shillings for women and 1 shilling for children. So essentially you could pay children much less for the same job. And the other reason as well is that children were less likely to protect themselves and they couldn't unionize in the workplace. So they were easily exploited in terms of pay and working conditions as well. So that's your answer for number 8. How young were some of the child workers? They were 5. We just saw that there. Number 10, what was the average weekly pay in England for a man? Here we've got 10 shillings. What was the average weekly pay in England for a woman? Here we got 5 shillings. And then for a child was 1 shilling, as we can see here. And then number 13, the last one for task 1, name the 6 impacts of the Industrial Revolution. So we've got rights for workers, child labour laws, urbanisation, birth of socialism, which is one of the impacts of the Industrial Revolution that we focus on in this lesson here. And then we've got labour unions as well. So that's our first 13 questions. Here we've got comprehension questions on inventions created during the Industrial Revolution. So we'll open up this link here and we'll go through those questions together as well. Again, we've got another infographic, so let's dive in. Number 1, name the 6 industries that thrived during the Industrial Revolution. So we've got to find those here. We've got communication, mining, textile industry, agriculture, luxury items, and transportation. In particular, mining and the textile industries were the 2 massive ones. More food meant more people, and more people meant more food was needed. Transportation also evolved quite rapidly during the Industrial Revolution, and so did communication as well, especially. Number 2, who invented the seed drill, and what does a seed drill do? Let's have a look here. We've got Big Jethro Tull. Invented the seed drill, which allowed planting in straight rows. So that can be your answer there. The seed drill was unique because it could dig a hole, plant a seed, and then cover the hole over, or cover the seed over, with soil in one motion, whereas before those 3 jobs were separate. All right, let's move to our next one. What impacts did inventions have on the textile industry? So we'll go down here, and we've got our topic here, textile industry. Involved the creation of cloth and clothing. Inventions increased production. So we've got John Kay invented the flying shuttle in 1733 for use in handheld weaving. We've got Edmund Cartwright built the power loom in 1785, which mechanised the weaving process. And then we've got Eli Whitney's cotton gin, made in 1793, which sped up the separation of cottonseed from cotton fibre. So essentially we have all these inventions made the production of clothes and cloth, as we define the textile industry, much, much faster. So that's our answer for that question there. Number 4, what did John Kay invent and what does it do? So we'll go to John Kay here. We've got the flying shuttle, and you can use it for handheld weaving of thread. Who invented the power loom and what did it do? Here we've got, where is our power loom? I think that may have been in the last infographic as well. We've got Edmund Cartwright again here, built the power loom in 1785, which mechanised the weaving process. We've got Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin, as we saw here, which sped up the separation of cottonseed from cotton fibre, so removing the seeds from the cotton. Who invented the first steam engine? This is a good one here. We'll go down to the steam engine. So the first steam engine was invented in 1712 by Thomas Newcomen. His design was used to pump water out of flooded mines, so we call it the Newcomen steam engine. And this helped us with production, mining, and transportation. What was the first steam engine used for? Well, we've got those things here, but also it was used to pump water out of flooded mines. So that's your answer for number 8 there. Who invented the first steam train? Good one here. We've got George Stephenson. Built the first steam train in 1814, which revolutionised long-distance travel and shipping. All of a sudden, you could move a lot more coal over further distance and a lot more faster than you could previously. So a massive, massive invention there and a massive leap for humanity. What impact did steam trains have on the industry? Well, they allowed you to transport goods and services much faster because you could transport more at once, and it was much faster as well because you weren't moving it on horse and cart or canals anymore. You were moving it on these big, powerful steam trains. And then once you finish that, guys, you can play a Kahoot here by clicking on this link. And that's pretty much your lesson, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That's just, very surface level knowledge of an overview of the Industrial Revolution. It's time now to dive deeper into all these topics here. But if you like anything you saw in this website or you like using these websites, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.